Good morning guys, thanks for joining me for another What I Ate in a Day as a vegan on Slimming World. If you're new here, my name's Leanne, I'm a vegan, obviously trying to lose weight on the Slimming World plan. And if you're coming back, as always, thanks ever so much for doing so. Today is Tuesday, it's the 19th of January and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't start work till 8, but I'm up early because I had a long weekend and as in I had Friday and Monday off, and so obviously I was then worrying about waking up for work today, so I had a very bad night's sleep and now I'm up and ready very early. So I thought I would use my time productively and sort some, get some prep things done for the day. So today is Tuesday, which means that Mum is coming over for dinner. Yes, we are in lockdown, but because I live alone, my support bubble is my mum and dad in their house. So Mum comes down for dinner on a Tuesday. So yes, so I'm going to make us jambalaya tonight. So I've got the ingredients out for that, which I'll probably get chopped in a moment, but I'm going to get some bits done for lunch first because I'm going to make a nice lentil soup today. It's a really drizzly kind of just day, so I'm just going to have cosy food. I love cosy food, can't beat it, can you? Just hearty, wholesome, simple fare. So I'm just going to show you what I'm prepping. For my soup at lunchtime, I've chopped 2 very small brown onions, 4 carrots, just because that's what I had left, so I was using them up, and about 3 sticks of celery, although a couple of them were the small ones from the middle, so it doesn't look very much. I'll be making the soup in the pressure cooker, so I'm just starting off by sauteing the onion, celery and carrot mix. I've got a tiny bit of fry light in the bottom there, just because it helps it brown off a little bit. Also having myself a coffee at the same time with 100 ml of Alpro Almond Barista, which is one sin. Okay, so that's been sauteing for about 3 minutes. As you can see, the onions started to go a bit translucent, and I'm just going to add in some garlic, quite a decent amount, because you know I love garlic, and this is one of the bonuses of working from home. There's no one around to moan. So there we go, probably a good 3 to 4 cloves of garlic right there. And now for everything else. So basically this is cumin, just for some warmth. I don't want it to taste too cuminy. Probably about 2 teaspoons right there. Also going to pop in quite a lot of my Italian herb blend. So oregano, basil, red bell pepper, marjoram, thyme, rosemary, sage and parsley. So it's a really nice mix. So I want preferably more than the cumin. So quite a lot right there. I'm not sure how much, sorry if you want recipes, because I'm not measuring anything. Again, for a little bit of extra depth of flavour, I'm actually going to add in some hickory liquid smoke. This might seem odd, but I think it's going to really amp up the flavour. Next, I've got 1 tin of chopped tomatoes, and also 1 tin of the cherry tomatoes in juice, just to give those different textures. And yeah, it's just interest, isn't it? Just a bit more interest. Of course, the main ingredient is green lentils, so I'm going to pop some of those in, which is probably about 1.5 cups ish. There you go, there's that much gone out of my jar. So take from that what you will. Maybe a little bit more. I want it to be hearty. Also, big old squirt of tomato puree, because it really does help with the flavour, I guess. So that's like 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons. And last but not least for now, I'm adding 2 Knorr vegetable stock pots. Get out, there we go. And I'm going to add some salt and pepper as well. Okay, you can see my salt and pepper there, and I'm just going to add in some water. The only thing with this is just making sure it doesn't go above the max line, which is out. I forgot it was hot. Oh, it's up there, so I'm only at the midway point, so I can add a good litre of water. So there we go. That is about a litre of water in there. Obviously, because it's in the pressure cooker, it's going to retain the water a little bit more as well. Let's just give it all a good stir around. Yum, yum. This is going to be such a nice lunch. And what I've decided to do is I'm going to put it on now in the pressure cooker and then just let it sit. So it'll release the steam naturally, and it'll also just let the flavours enhance really. So it's not slow cooking it, it's going to cook it in the beginning but then just sit in the pressure cooker, and it should still be warm at lunchtime, I think. If I'm calculating it right, you know. I'm still new to pressure cooking. So we put the lid on somehow. Where does it go on? There. And then, oh yeah, and then it turns that way. Good start, Collins. Right, so my lid is on, and then the one that I've found I'm comfortable with is the rice one. I sort of know where I am with that, so yeah, I have to cancel, and then rice, and then 12 minutes, probably 13 should be fine, and then that has to be closed, which it is that right? Yeah, that's closed. Okay, cool. And then I just leave it, and it will come up to pressure, and it will do its thing, and then it will release the pressure very slowly after it's finished, and it'll just still be warm at lunch, hopefully. We'll see. Fingers crossed. I'm just quickly throwing together breakfast, which I'm having fruit yogurt and seeds. So this is 1 teaspoon of sunflower seeds and 2 teaspoons of pumpkin seeds, and that's 3 syns because seeds are 1 syn a teaspoon. I'm sorry about Delta in the background. Delta! And yes, I'll use my Healthy Extra B later on in the day. And by the way, if you're thinking, oh, she made those oat muffiny things yesterday, why isn't she having one of them for a breakfast? The answer is because I'm planning on having them for dessert after lunch, because I figure that's like a really good way of spacing out my stuff during the day. So my seeds are done. They smell lush. Can you beat a toasted seed? I mean, seriously, so yummy, so yummy. So here's my yogurt and fruit on top. So I've got this is the Alpro no sugar at all yogurt, so it's sin-free on Slimming World. It's just obviously plain yogurt, so it's not really a lot of flavour to it, except for that yogurty flavour. There's my seeds on top, that's 3 syns, and obviously I've got apple for speed and some banana as well. And then over the top I've got 2 teaspoons each of the Sweet Freedom vanilla and caramel syrups. So that's 2 syns in total. So this is a 5 syn breakfast, and it is totally worth it. It's a really nice one. I've made myself another coffee, but it's a decaf one this time because I figured best not overload on caffeine too early in the day. So that's another 1 syn for another 100 mils of Alpro Almond Barista. So that puts me on 7 so far with my 2 coffees and my breakfast. Well guys, not gonna lie, I'm pretty pleased with how this has turned out. Look at, it's good. Obviously I've given it a stir, but yeah, and it's kept it nice and warm, so I'm really happy. So I'm gonna chuck in some spinach and some lemon juice and fresh basil, and that should just finish it off. Okay, I've been mixing my spinach in, so this is the last little bit, plus the juice of 1 lemon and a load of basil, basically. And it's nice and hot because it's on the keep warm function on the pressure cooker, so happy days. Don't want to like jinx it guys, but it does seem like I might have got this one right. Which is my first success making stuff up to go in the pressure cooker. Yay! So there we go. I'll let you know in a minute what it tastes like. All right, I've ladled myself up a nice portion. Obviously this is quite a nice large container, so you know I've got lots left here for well, if I want another bowl I can have another bowl, but there's definitely enough for at least 3 more bowls in there, so happy days. And this is of course sin free, so that's great. And actually this is SP, so if you're following SP then you can have this soup. Excellent. We're having a paddle dance. Oh, you're so cute. We're having a paddle. Wow, someone's getting brave. Is that fun? Delta, what's she doing? You funny girl, was that fun? Was that fun if you got a wet belly? I think you do, don't you? You need to have a little shake. You need to have a little shaky shake. My eye is twitching. You know when you can feel your eyelid just twitching? It's very off-putting. Anyway, lunch was very nice, that soup. I had another ladle full, and then I've, excuse me, I've put aside 3 portions for another day, so happy days. For a kind of dessert / mid-afternoon snack, I'm having 2 of my little, let's call them oat muffins, or baked oats, or oatmeal muffins, oatmeal cups, I don't know, whatever you want to call them really. Essentially, they are baked oats, and they have almond butter and raspberry jam in them. So basically for those 2, it's my healthy extra B choice for the day, plus 4.5 syns, and that 4.5 syns is between the maple syrup, which is 2 syns, the peanut butter, which is 1.5 syns, sorry, it's almond butter, 1.5 syns, and the jam, which is 1 syn. I'm lying, I knew I was confused. Jam is half a syn for the teaspoon in there, so that's 4 syns, but then I'm allowing an extra half a syn per portion to cover the little bit of milk that's in there and the negligible amount of baking powder. So yeah, 4.5 syns plus my healthy extra B choice, but honestly these things are so good, and also they are like a really, really filling snack or breakfast, so totally recommend. Hey guys, so I think I showed you I had a cup of tea, didn't I? Yes. I've not had anything except water since then. It is currently about 4:45. I finished work now. Mum is on her way down, and I'm sure she won't be long, but I'm just getting dinner sort of prepared, ready to go. This evening I'm doing jambalaya, which is based on a recipe from one of my favourite books. I've mentioned it before, which is One Dish Vegan by Robertson. This is a very unassuming recipe book. It has no pictures. Everything is very, very texty. But I'll tell you what, some of the recipes are bloody brilliant, and I've come back to them again and again and again. And this jambalaya is one of those recipes. And the reason I'm quite excited about making it today is because for the first time I have an ingredient that is optional, but is supposed to be much more authentic. Now I ordered this a couple of weeks ago, and it's I've had it in my drawer ready to make this, and that is filet powder, ground filet leaves. So we'll be using that in there today. Part of the reason I love this recipe is because it is just so simple. So you just start out with the holy trinity of the sort of deep south cooking, I guess, or like Louisiana cooking, which is onion, celery and green pepper. and you just want to saute them. Obviously I'm going to use fry light to do mine. So as I said, you just start off by sauteing onion, celery and green pepper. I'm just using some fry light, and I'll add some garlic to that in a moment. And then literally you just chuck in all the other ingredients and let it cook for 20 minutes with the lid on at low simmer. So it's like the easiest recipe ever. The one thing I have done is pre-cook my vegan sausages. In the original recipe, it says brown them for 5 minutes before you start. So obviously you could do that, but personally, I use the Linda McCartney red onion rosemary sausages, which are sin-free. Delta likes that. And I did them yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video. So I've chopped them up now, ready. So I'll just add those in at the end just to heat through. But the other ingredients, when me and mum make this, because she's got the same book as me, we both really like this one, but we always do 1 cup of rice rather than half a cup because it's just not enough really. So it's just a cup of, I've got brown basmati rice, but obviously any rice would do. We're going to use probably a couple of tablespoons tomato puree. We've got a tin of chopped tomatoes, a tin of kidney beans that I've already drained and rinsed. Tabasco sauce, which is a fairly key ingredient for that essential Louisiana flavour. It does call for dried thyme, but I don't have any, but I'm going to use this herbe de Provence because the first ingredient is thyme in there, and you know, it's not going to hurt anything. Going to need some veg stock, so I'm just using a couple of OXO cubes, and then the exciting ingredient, as I was saying, is filet powder, which is completely optional, but this is an authentic like gumbo ingredient that you might find in Louisiana, for example. So yeah, there'll be a teaspoon of that in there. I'm excited because I've not made it with this before, so that will be a new experience. And then I'm going to top it with some parsley and probably serve it with some broccoli. Okay, dinner is done. This is my jambalaya. Cannot wait to eat it. Me and Mum are being complete heathens and we're having cheese all over it. So I'm using my 2 healthy extra A's for 80 grams of cocoa. The filet powder is definitely adding a different flavour to it. It's really, really nice. After dinner, me and Mum both had one of the Alpro dark chocolate dessert pots for 5.5 syns. Hey guys, so dinner was lush. The filet powder just took it to another level, so yeah, definitely recommend that. I'll be using it in future. It was really, really good. I'm now, well, it's actually a few hours later because I did some work, and I'm just going to sit down and watch a programme for an hour and then go to bed. So I'm having a cup of after dinner tea, and I'm also having a hot chocolate.